Hello and welcome. I'm Carl the Landscape Guy, and today we will install a wooden basket weave fence as a privacy screen. To start off, we have to install a foundation with an H-anchor post base and a fence post. On the other side, the wood fence is fixed to the wall. I use oil chalk and mark the foundation's position from the wall. The length for this fence element is 1.8 meters. I add 1 centimeter on each side for mounting. Now I mark the approximate location for the foundation with chalk on the pavers. The post base will be set into the concrete foundation. With the help of 2 screwdrivers, I take out the first paver. This can be a bit difficult. But then the other pavers come out relatively easy. I open an area of about 50 by 50 centimeters in the pavement. I start digging the hole for the foundation with a flat shovel. The hole will be 25 by 25 centimeters and I plan on making it about 70 centimeters deep. It makes sense to deepen the hole with a spade. I smoothen the sides and make sure no loose material remains in the hole. Once the hole has been excavated, the foundation concrete can be mixed. I use this ready mixed concrete where only water must be added. For this foundation I need 1.5 bags, so that's about 60 kilos. So that's about 60 kilograms. If you put both heaps next to each other, you can estimate your amount visually. I first add a couple liters of water and wait a few minutes for the concrete to suck up the water. This way you can save yourself a lot of mixing work, and now I use the shovel to do the rest. I only add enough water so that the concrete is not liquid. Now I'm putting the concrete into the hole. If you have a few chunks of old building rubble, you can use this and save a few shovelfuls. Compacting is very important because only then does the foundation receive the necessary strength. Compacting in layers is highly recommended. I put the H-anchor post base in the filled hole and use a spirit level to check the height compared to the surrounding pavers. We still need a little more concrete because the H-anchor sits too deep. The post is supposed to be above the pavement level. So I add a little bit and then put the H-anchor back in. Now it is important to put the anchor at its exact location. I set the post anchor supports so that they don't interfere with the fence later. I align the anchor and make sure it's vertically straight with the small spirit level. Be careful when measuring with the small spirit level because the anchor supports are usually not completely straight until you attach the post to them. Therefore always keep the spirit level at the edge. Around the anchor I fill the rest of the concrete and compact it to ensure that that post base stays stable. Here it is important not to pour too much concrete. I keep the concrete level lower than the paving stones. Make sure to check the alignment and distance again. If the concrete gets a little dry, it makes sense to add some water. Don't put too much because you don't want to flush away the concrete. The water also makes the concrete stick to the anchor properly. So our foundation is all set and now has to harden. The concrete is fully cured after 28 days, but we can put our fence up after 24 hours. If you do not want to wait, you can also use the more expensive quick setting concrete. That stuff hardens in a couple hours and you can mount your fence on the same day. I pass the time by painting the fence. In this case, I want the fence to match the anthracite roof color of the house. I use a wood preservation glaze in the color ebony. The post is also treated with the same color. This stuff makes the wood last much longer. Re-moistening the concrete the next day helps the curing process to proceed. However, it is hard enough so that we can put the pavers back in place. With a trowel, I clean off excess joint material and fill up the hole with some of the sand. Then I use this tamper tool to compact the sand. With a small spirit level and a trowel, I smooth out the area around the H anchor and remove the excess sand. Now we can lay the pavers back in. I make sure that no joint material remains on the pavers. If you leave them dirty, you might not get them back in properly. Two pavers have to be cut. I mark the spots and use a disc grinder. A rubber hammer can be used to get rid of small height differences. I use clean sand to fill the joints. With the broom and some water, filling the joints is done quickly and properly. You can also use very dry joint sand to push the sand into the joints, but then you have to repeat that process a few times. Now I put the fence post and the H anchor and hold it in place with a clamp. That makes it easy to align it. There are already holes in the post for the fence mounts, so I install the mounts at the same height on the wall side. Here I use stainless steel mounts. I drill a 10mm hole and insert dowels. Using stainless steel ensures that no rust marks will appear on the white wall, not even after an extended period of time. All materials and tools I used will be linked in the video description. The angle bracket can also be screwed in well with the cordless screwdriver. Let's install the mounts on the post now. I had these laying around and painted them black to fit the fence. Okay, now I can get the basket weave fence. It's easier if you put wood blocks underneath it to get it to the right height. To mount the fence, I first use one wood screw on the top bracket, then I make sure the fence and the post is straight. Also check that the gaps at the top and bottom are even. In this case, I think the fence looks better when it's even with the post. Then the fence can be secured with all the screws. Now the post is held by the fence and I can easily put on the anchor bolts. Make sure the screws are not too long for the width of the post. They shouldn't meet in the middle. If you prefer, you can also use threaded bolts with lock knots. That's it! We have successfully installed our wood fence. It is very stable with these H anchors, and I hope this video helps you. I wish you good luck on your projects. Thank you for watching and see you next time on Carl the Landscape Guy.